Hey everybody, what is up? I'm your friend Brian McGill and Corey Camp. We're here for back at you with another What's Up Wednesday. We have a really exciting show for you today. We have a few updates for you all regarding essentially some service to help combat the some of the ways we're being affected by the coronavirus. By the way, my trip to LA is canceled for the ASCD conference. That's canceled. The next two conferences are canceled. So guess what? There are no updates to the roadshow until I get the updates from these conferences. So
Yeah.
it's too bad, but you know what? Better safe than sorry, Corey.
Yep.
We have a nice interview with our friend Kyle Howard, one of our advisors, one of our solution advisors here at Sibme, to help you learn a little bit more about what you can expect to, or what you essentially the process of considering Sibme for adoption for next school year. And then also, we got some really great shout outs for some of our outstanding customers. Corey, what do you say we get into it?
Yeah, I really want to talk about this announcement. We've been talking about this for, gosh, it's been a couple of weeks that we've been talking about how we can support the educational community as all of the coronavirus outbreak has been affecting not just conferences, but schools and everything else. So last night we officially posted that we are offering free licensing for schools and organizations that are having to close due to the coronavirus outbreak. There are a lot of schools that many of them are pretty much prepared. I know our school district has a platform that they use. It's minimally been used, so this will be interesting. I think the word on the street is we will probably end up closing after spring break, which is in a couple of weeks, to give teachers time to prepare. But they're using teacher PD days, which is a great use of the resource. But unfortunately, that means that there's less time that will be spent the rest of this year for teachers to be able to connect and collaborate and learn on their own. But one of the things I was thinking as I was driving home today after dropping off my daughter at daycare was, we have a lot of these learning platforms that offer great solutions for putting out assignments and receiving assignments from students in the K-12 and higher ed world. But then what do we have that also integrates synchronous and asynchronous collaboration with your students, conversations with them? For my elementary kiddos, they're all in elementary and preschool. It's not going to work to just post some slides that I would have used or directions all in text. It's really going to be more beneficial if the teacher's on video, able to deliver that lesson and that content in a video format, or at least an audio format. And then for the response of my kiddos, my students, my elementary students, to be able to have a feature like our audio feature where they can just hold down the microphone and leave a voice comment or message to that, I think is really powerful. So I know our platform's traditionally thought of as this professional learning for adult learners, but it has lots of implications. We have some schools who use it with their students. So if you're in the need for something like that, free licensing through, I think it's July 1st, 31st. Let me know, Brian, if you know. We'll send out all the information. We'll post the link that's on this image here below for everyone as well.
We're going to do this at least until July 1st, and we're going to monitor this situation and see how we can best respond to you all, because we're a community of educators. We're here for you to help you, essentially make the most of essentially an unfortunate situation. But here we are. We're not going to get essentially all we're not going to get in the way from you to do your best to serve students.
Yeah. So, and if you've got a conference that you had, whether that was a small local conference or a big, I know we've tried reaching out to ASCD, and we are happy to help power those conferences. Our platform has huddles, which are the kind of the same as those breakout or conference rooms. And there's the live, like in-person type webinar that can happen synchronously. And then there's also where you can post videos, or if someone couldn't make it at that live time, they're able to watch it later on in that same safe, secure space. So that's available. And then for our Sibme customers, if you need help, like you've been using this for instructional coaching and with your adult learners, but now you're thinking you want to use this with some students during these times, you need help with what that might look like, or you just want to chat a little bit about how to set that up, let us know. Reach out to us. You can reach out to me personally or our support team, and we're happy to help you set up a blended or online learning experience for all of your students.
Big thank you to our friends at Circu Live for helping us out with that, and Zoom for also being on board with helping folks through this difficult time. Go to info.sibme.com/coronavirus to take advantages, or email or contact us through the numbers provided. That's all we got. So next up, he is probably the most innovative guy, I think, that has joined our sales team in the last year. He's a hustler. He is, and by hustler, he is one of the hardest working guys I've met in sales. He's very creative, and he is a very essentially organized solutions advisor here at Sibme.
And he makes the most beautiful cookies. So
yeah,
he
I know.
does it
They're
all,
wonderful.
ladies and gentlemen.
if you need cookies and with your guided trial, I got a guy, and his name is Kyle Howard. Kyle Howard, welcome to the show.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and definitely getting those cookies out for those guided trial users. We can definitely get that on track for them.
Yeah,
Kyle Howard always got something cooking up, man.
That's great. That's great. Kyle, I'm excited to have you on the show. We got quite a bit of viewers today, this morning. So, but here's why I'm excited for this. I was in the shoes of where we have a lot of people are right now, where they're identifying video as this possible solution to either support or enhance or completely transform what they are trying to do and accomplish in their organizations, whether that's higher ed or K-12 or even our corporate world. And they just know that video sounds like a great tool, and they're maybe not sure where to go from there, or they've heard of some other platforms, but other than that, where do you go? So today we're going to talk about with you some key considerations. So there were some things that I knew just intuitively. Some of these are kind of no-brainers to think about, but then there were some other things that our team had not even thought about, that we were lucky that Sibme was able to guide us within that through that process. And it was one of our deciding factors, in addition to the way the platform could be flexible and meet our needs, but definitely something that is really, really helpful. We got a comment. Kyle does make some awesome cookies. So yes, yeah, very I can bake some pies like nobody's business, but I can't do the cookie decorating with you, Kyle. So let's get into it then. What are some key factors that a team should consider when evaluating a video solution? What do they need to kind of be prepared for?
Definitely. Well, first you have to ask yourself, do you believe that video can be an effective tool for growth, with not only within your school, but also within districts as well? And we also want to look at, do we have a plan in place when rolling this out? What are some key factors that we're really looking to accomplish with rolling out with the use of video and a video platform? And then also just with rolling anything out, we want to look at our buying. Who are going to be our champions with using this video, with trying this out as well, to really maximize the use of this potential investment here. We want to look at technology. We want to look at the ease of use. And bottom line, everyone looks at, we want to look at the cost too as well. So those are some key factors I should definitely think that what we're looking at and speaking to other customers when looking at video platforms.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. There are many solutions out there that are going to help. Once you see certain features, that's going to kind of change how you think about things. Like Sibme's account video library was something that I wasn't even thinking about before. And then once I saw that, and we saw this if anyone tuned into the walkthroughs to lesson studies webinar with Brian and Justin and TJ yesterday, we saw Horizon High School, who started out with this really narrow kind of this specific focus of, I want to use this. It makes sense to use video with our walkthroughs. So that's how we're going to use it. And then it just kind of organically shifted into a lesson study type model that the teachers drove on that campus. So from walkthroughs to lesson studies. And then even yesterday in the webinar, they were kind of chatting amongst themselves and talking about new ways to continue using video, because Sibme is a really flexible tool. But cost is a really important factor. But if you don't have technology that is a scalable solution, like my favorite thing is Sibme's available right in your pocket. If it's not scalable, if it's not ease of use, if you don't have good, not really buy-in, but really ownership among the users, if they don't understand how and why you're going to use video and that's meaningful for them, then they're never going to turn it on. It doesn't matter how cost effective it was, right? Exactly. So I think those are all really big things to think about. And again, you don't have to have it all figured out and planned out, but you have to start having those conversations and then kind of prioritize and think about, what would be ease of use for us. We have this kind of infrastructure already existing, so we want something to fit well within that. Brian,
most of obviously I've been helping folks with this for almost 6 years now. Most of the programs that have adopted this very well had high engagement, all knew their why, and were essentially, when they went through their change management process of storming, norming, and performing, when they were storming, they all had a good reason why. And a lot of them their why was because we want to be our best for kids, or we want to be able to, and we want to be effective and efficient, and not adding time when we normalize this strategy. So that's, having a good, now there's been a lot of whys, in their own terms, right? But most teams storm together as part of this, and they were all behind their reason why to do this. So anyways, I think that was the biggest key. Our next question, are we ready?
Yeah. I think that's a great segue into the next question. Once you have your why, then how do we go about it, right?
Yeah. So storming, norming, and performing, how should a team go about a solution given these factors, Kyle? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I kind of want to backtrack on what Corey was explaining earlier as far as having the ease of use, allowing what are some key factors, especially most effective using this opportunity. So we want to look at this as far as most effective, ease of use, but also scalability. When we're looking to roll this out, we want them to, like you said, allow anytime, anywhere, right? So when we're looking to, especially when the cost and rolling out to maximizing to larger campuses or districts, how are we going to scale this? What does it look like to scale that? So those are some key factors to also look at. And really, to maximize anything, we want you to actually kick those tires and get into a guided trial, to actually try the platform out, see how it works within those walls. But also, we can just throw the video platform at you, but we also want to have the support of rolling that out too as well. So not only support in-house using the platform, but also those outside resources that we have available for you with those guided trials.
Yeah, most of the work that I do with our customers is not, here's how you log in and here's how you record a video. That's pretty intuitive. Most of it, and where people usually get hung up, is that rollout piece, as you mentioned too, Brian. It's okay, so we had this great idea to use this with our walkthroughs, or to use this with our coaching, or we want to start a lesson study, but what does that look like? How do we do that? I'm working right now on releasing. We're about to release our PLC and video course, and there's a number of. I mean, this one's got the most activities that I think of all of our courses, because there are so many different ways that this can look, and again, it can simply enhance, or it can completely transform it. So, but knowing how to effectively do that so you can maintain that movement is important. I know, Brian, there's more options than a guided trial. So how do we go about deciding that?
Well, just understand where you are in the year, I think, and deciding what's important to you. You're going to decide, and where you are in your budget cycle, where, which path gives you the best opportunity to prepare for the adoption when your teachers arrive back in August, or your university returns, your faculty returns in September, and classes kick off. What avenue is your best direction? Let me see, where is my I'm sorry. So
we have three of those, right? We have three avenues for our new users, and this is something you want to consider with other solutions as well. Or what are the opportunities for them to have that you have to kind of test drive, right? Are you a Carvana kind of person where you just want to look it up and you like the way it looks and you trust that particular car manufacturer, and you just want to, like a vending machine, pop out your car and drive it home? We've got online trials for the DIYers who don't want to mess with talking with anybody. They've got a pretty solid and forward idea of what they want to do. Guided trial would be the next level, where we kind of roll out the red carpet for you for 30 days, have, some realistic expectations for what you should try to accomplish within that, and we give you support. And then there's the pilot, which really gives you a longer than the 30-day guided trial and gives you more opportunity for training. Maybe you need to get some norming together with your leadership team, and you need some support, and we can provide that for you in addition to utilizing the platform.
And the advantages to one or the other, right? In a trial, you're going to have enough time to just understand whether that plan process works well for inside our platform. Is Sibme flexible enough to meet your needs? Okay, and then your pilot is essentially gives you an opportunity to now scale that this idea in our platform that you've identified. Okay, yes, this fits our plan and process. How can we scale that? Well, now we've got an idea of how to scale this, and we have even professional learning to help you scale that, services that extend beyond a trial. So that is probably the kind of phases that I would, that's what I guess that's how I would go about selecting it. I would go in those steps.
Yeah.
And
Brian, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Well, and I want to go back to your words, Kyle. In you go why, but once you have that, thinking about the time of year and kind of where you are, Brian, you said this too. The second semester is a great time. It's actually a really good time to play around a little bit with some new solutions for doing this, and to have a small kind of coalition of the willing who are going to, just test this out a little bit and give you some ideas. And then over the summer, you can formalize a plan for what full implementation might look like with the solution that you select. But really kind of having those ideas in mind, and then choosing, do we just want to do an online trial? Guided trials usually are most popular one, next to pilots. Yeah. Definitely. So with a guided trial in mind, then Kyle, what are some realistic expectations for someone doing a free trial between now and the end of the school year?
Right. Well, exactly. It is a great time to test this out and really get the maximize exposure to the guided trial here. So really, what you want to look at is obviously, does it fit into our workflow right now? The planning phase right now. Do we have the plan in place? If not, we can sit down and really customize that for you. But then also, like I said, going back, if things happen sometimes, we get thrown off. We have a great workflow to really help you organize with utilizing your guided trial, with having the weekly objectives to actually go back and to, like I said, maximize your opportunity of this guided trial.
Yeah, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up here for our viewers. But if you go with a guided trial with Sibme, we have a whole 30-day recommended plan. Essentially, I think it boils down to what you should be trying to do, even in this time of the year, really any time of the year. In a guided trial, you really need to take it for a test drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to take that drive kind of through the regular streets, but at some point you want to get on the highway and see how much get up and go that puppy has, right?
So match the gas.
Yeah. So with that, I think what we really recommend and what's in our 30-day recommended plan for the guided trial are 2 kind of small cycles of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And that first cycle might just need to be self-reflection, some way for everyone just to play around a little bit, get to know the platform and do a little reflection, and then move into a little small coaching cycle or small PLC cycle or whatever it might be. But the first kind of attempt at it from everybody in your trial is going to be a little clunky because they're all kind of figuring it out and finding time to do it. But the second one should give you a little bit smoother idea of how it can work. So, yeah.
So, and what's our next question?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So this is our next question, Brian. They're not ready for it yet.
How would you know what, Kyle? We'll start with you here.
You know what? If they're not ready for it, that's okay. We have those outside resources, so you're able to dip your toe in the water with using Sibme or just using video. So we have the Sibme Learning Center, which is a great outside resources. We have some free courses on there, some courses for you to take. If you're not even using Sibme, if you're just using your phones to shoot and record. So we have those outside resources for you on that end. We also have this great resource here, this What's Up Wednesdays that's happening every Wednesday. So this is a resource for you to really sit and you can sit on the viewer seats if you're not ready to get on the playing floor yet, and really see how educational leaders are utilizing Sibme and really making that transition within those schools and within those districts, but then also our coaching Fridays as well, which we have. So we have a lot of abundance of outside resources. If you're not ready to dip into your toe to the guided trial yet, but once you are, we are here. We're ready for you.
You can live the free life here in the Sibme community. Okay, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You can sign up for our learning center and accumulate a better understanding of how this could work with your program, and stay tuned in to to our community and how what folks are changing, testimonials, accumulate your I would just say all the information that you need, so when you're ready to go with that trial, you're gonna have a lot more confidence because you've engaged in all of this free content.
Exactly. We want you to maximize your opportunity. That's what we want to do. Maximize your opportunity, your time, and then overall maximizing your investment too as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to show our viewers, if you haven't been to our learning center, all of these courses, like what I'm showing here, I'm going to pause this because it's going to start with me talking. These are great. They're free courses. You're welcome to go through they're all kind of under definitely under 20 minutes. What most people spend their time doing, though, is checking out all of the activities. These are free. We've got our mission cards, and some of those are saved specifically for our Sibme subscribers, but these are a lot like a mission card. And if you're still kind of trying to think about, okay, but what would this look like if I really integrated this in our new teacher induction program? This one's particularly has an entire 2-year plan already identified and organized for you, and you can use it in part or in whole. So definitely lean in on those things again, so that can just give you a more sophisticated idea of how video is going to play a role. And maybe that's what you need to get others on board with you and excited about it. I mean, I know I cried out for video for years after using it in my own classroom, and I dabbled with it a little bit at the central office level, but it wasn't a big thing in our district. And so it was really hard to get teachers, one, to do it with me, because they're like, nobody else is asking me to do video. Why are you doing that? And my district said, it's just not anything in their resources, and they weren't interested in going forward with video. And same with the service center, until we kind of all had this big focus of transforming the way that we provided our learning services at our service center. And that then opened the window for me to say, okay, one way we can do that is with video. And then I had people on board with me once I started talking about the different ways we could use it. Then it was a great conversation. So I wasn't ready for a guided trial I was ready, but my organization wasn't ready for us to do a guided trial for many years. And then that's okay though, because Sibme wasn't born those years before that. So I found Sibme just in time, and it can definitely be helpful. So then when we think about getting people on board, our final question is really, what stakeholders should be involved in the adoption process? If you're looking forward to thinking about doing this in whatever way, who do you need to have on your side, Kyle, to begin these conversations, not just with Sibme, but with other solutions that you might be looking at?
Right. Well, for one, you want to have those conversations with those forward thinkers within those campuses, within the districts as well. Having those who love the process, love the process of doing something great. That's what I always say. You have to try something new and able to grow. Sometimes you have to try some things that are going to be uncomfortable and able to take that risk. So have the conversation with those people. So also your influencers. So either if it's your master teachers, some of your district influencers within your campus or within your district, but also having a conversation with the principals, your instructional coaches. But then all in all, I always say, if you have a group of teachers who are already collaborating, the culture is there, they're sharing already, have a conversation with them and able to organically grow it from the bottom if need be.
Yeah, definitely. Brian?
I would say, obviously, I mean, just to kind of reiterate some things, obviously you want to, I think it's sometimes it's overseen. Sometimes it's really important to kind of have somebody involved from your technology department, just even if it's not your director, but maybe somebody that's a coordinator underneath them, to sit in your demo, just so they're aware of how Sibme is a solution to help you with your pedagogy and your strategy, right? And it's not another piece of technology for the sake of technology. There's likely going to be some technology paperwork. So when that comes across the director, that coordinator knows, a little bit. They can brief the director a little bit. Hey, this is how this is helping so and so over at that campus. Yada yada. Yeah. And then obviously this, Sibme is a solution it's not a free service. Definitely the sooner we get a budget authority involved, so they can understand why this fits into their pedagogy and what's important to them. All of a sudden, when we're able to align Sibme with their interests and essentially and your interest, well, that's a fantastic intersection. Okay, that's when this that's a really important stakeholder, because we have some folks that are doing some really incredible work, but their budget comes from another department. Well, the best way to get those stakeholders involved in the process is in a demonstration, where we're storming together on this work. So go ahead.
Well, and I would add to that, I don't think throughout the adoption process, but at least at some checkpoints, right? When you're getting ready to move forward with finding a solution, and then kind of midway through, it's important, I think, to meet, like our 30-day trial recommends at about 2 weeks that you just take a break and everybody meet together and just talk about the current process. And if there's anything else you want to try in the remainder of that trial period. And those are good times to have some other departments, like bringing in your special education or any of your special pops or your interventionists, because they may not have been thinking about this yet, but I think the more people that you can kind of get back, and then the more that you can kind of share that that cost over those different budgets can also be helpful. Like at our service center, a lot of it, our special education was able to help foot a little bit of the bill with us because of how we were meeting all students' needs and the teachers of those students through the type of work that we were going to be doing. So I think it just opens up doors. We sometimes will see people regretting that they didn't bring those individuals on in the beginning. They're at the end of year 1 or the end of year 2, and they're going, okay, I've just been using this with my core content teachers, but my special education or my interventionists are begging to use it because they're the only one on this campus and they want to use it with other teachers and other campuses within the district. And so you can test out a few of those early on if you've got some of them in mind. So I really think it's just boils all back down to your why and the role that you think video will play initially. And check out our Learning Center if you want to kind of explore some of those possible roles a little bit more, but really thinking a little bit about the purpose that it will serve, and then getting those people all pulled together for that. Well, this has been a great conversation, Kyle. I think this is really helpful. One of the things that I know we've been wanting to do is collaborate a little bit together and put together a kind of considerations guide for teams to follow through. So I think that would be a great kind of sequel to this. Kyle, you and I can get together with May and our awesome creatives team to maybe begin working on that. So yeah, so this is great. And even if you just want some cookies, reach out to Kyle. He can help you find a solution and give you cookies.
You can reach out to me, definitely. I want to thank Corey and Brian for having me on today. If you want to know a little bit more information, you can always follow me on Twitter. Reach out to me via that way at Sibme, at Sibme. You can follow me, and I'm definitely looking forward to taking that step with you all and implementing Sibme within your schools, within your district as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks for joining us.
Hard work, pal.
Awesome. Adios.
All right, Brian, are we ready for our shout outs for the week? Lots of great things still happening. Jenny's still doing a lot of mid-year reviews, and so we've got our weekly shout outs. I'm excited about these two organizations. I don't know them as well. It's been a while since I've met with one of them, and then the other one, I think Jenny and TJ got kicked off. So great things happening though in AFIA Baltimore Inc. I think I said that correctly.
Moving and grooving. Look at that.
Yes. Oh, and I don't know why my report's cut off, but look at all this beautiful color and all these little spikes throughout this. Their engagement has been awesome this year as they've gotten up and running with everything. So they've got 74% overall user engagement. So 31 of their 42 users have been active. 252 videos uploaded and 687 views. So those videos are getting watched and rewatched and shared and watched again. And so great things happening on this campus.
Way to go, AFIA Baltimore. Woo, woo.
Woo. All right, the next one, Graves County Schools in Kentucky, not too far from you and I, Brian. These guys are trucking along as well. I mean, look, they kind of have almost double their videos uploaded versus viewed, and looks like they've been recording a lot within this. Lots of comments added, so good things happening there. I know when Jenny met with them, they were thinking about, next year, this is really going to be a helpful tool for them to work with their outside consultants and to do some kind of virtual coaching in addition to the on-site things that they're doing. So they're kind of beginning to coordinate a little bit with those individuals and think about how they can maximize the use of this technology beyond just their school walls and really into everything that they're doing.
And they're off and running down in Kentucky. Way to go, way to go, way to go.
I should have had my derby hat on. Well, this was great. This is a great show today. I'm super excited. And everybody's talking about these cookies that we've talked about with Kyle. So yeah, I still haven't gotten any cookies. I don't know if I've got to come all the way down to Texas to do that, or if I can get some shipped my way, Kyle. You're still watching, let us know. But super excited to have talked about this because I think this is important for anybody who's looking this semester or coming this summer into considering how video and how to go about finding a video solution for them. So, all right, Brian.
Well, thank you for this, Corey, and look forward to seeing everybody through the grapevine this week. Since I'm off from the ASCD conference, don't forget, take advantage of this this free licensing offer. That's info.sibme.com/coronavirus. And take a solution like Sibme helps you take every precaution you need to and stay productive. So look forward to seeing you all out there. Have a good week.
Bye, everyone.